Listen to the Healing Guys podcast with Hannah or Marian on Spotify, iHeartRadio. Now it's also on YouTube and Google Podcast. So it's been a while. I actually don't know how many months it's been since I recorded an episode for the Healing Guides. Though technically it's not a big deal because I really ended it, but just continued to share a couple of more episodes because I thought it was beneficial for certain reasons that I mentioned in the past. And to be honest, this episode that I'm recording right now was also not intentional. It's just one of those things that the heart is guiding me because of things that just happen gradually on their own. So I was watching these videos. About it's a difficult topic. Basically, survivors from abuse, especially those that happen to them in childhood. And I usually do focus on the male because I'm not really interested in the female because I know everything about them. It's really the males that society doesn't get to hear the abuse they suffered, especially as children, especially from perversion, which I mean molestation, rape, etc. The stories have a little bit of diversity, but they're usually the same. The pattern is exactly the same, and they lead the exact same life cycle or pattern, the exact same age. So, for example, if they're 10, they're going to do the same thing. If they're 20, they're going to do the same thing. If they're 30, they're going to do the same thing. If only the human race would just be like, wait a minute, these are all different human beings. They all have a common denominator in the sense that this type of abuse happened to them. Why do they all seem to lead the exact same lifestyle at the exact same age? Meaning certain things you could maybe be like, oh, that's just common sense. Like a lot of them go into self-destructive mode, right? Okay, we understand that because trauma leads to that for some people and for others it doesn't. Yeah, but why is it the exact same age? You know what I mean? It's because no one really probably even asks them for that much detail. I think maybe they just usually tell you the things they've done. Oh, they've done drugs. They've done alcohol. They've had a lot of, PTSD symptoms. They've had a lot of suicidal thoughts. They've become very promiscuous, like hypersexual with the opposite gender, always just constantly fornicating, which is just selling their body. They're just dishonoring themselves. And the devil obviously turned them perverted that way. We get it, self-destructive, self-harm. But it's the exact same age, that they're doing it. That's not logical. So I wish humans would think and be like, what the hell? That's because they're possessed. Their demons are going to make sure they do the exact same thing that the other human beings who suffer the same abuse that the demons did to them through some weird, filthy, evil bastard who, was possessed by them. These demons know you. They're ancient. They're in your bloodline. They know you. They made your father into a predator. They followed him. They, made him pretend to be some normal guy maybe, and he married a female. You came to this world, and now he's going to target you. It's like that. There's a pattern. There's bloodline curses. Literally just destroying the human race. No one even hears about the abuse children are going through. Because there's just a lot of these human beings. Because if you asked me, I would divide the human race into maybe 4 or 5 different types of human beings. The strong ones that you cannot harm. The ones that they try to harm, but they fight back. The ones that they don't fight back the first time, but then they fight back the second time. Like that. And then the ones that literally just allow it to happen all the time. No matter how many times they get raped or molested, each time they don't do anything. Each time they don't say anything. Each time they don't tell anyone. When people come to them and notice the symptoms and the signs, they lie. They say nothing happened. They do exactly what the demonic spirit told them to do. Through the human that abused them, which they tell them, this is a secret. If you reveal it, they threaten them with violence. They're scared of violence more than rape or molestation, which is worse. Being violated, your honor, your private parts, your body, your greatness being destroyed By perversion is worse. Death, violence is normal. So it's insanity, the type of number that these humans are. There's a lot of them who are this kind. Therefore, there's a lot of rape and molestation. And demons know you. They know you're this type of human. They know you're this type of child. They're going to target you. They're going to bring you that same type of predator in your father, in your brother, in someone that they know is going to be this way. Your job is to break the cycle, not allow it to happen. If it already happened, now we would advise you to not let it happen again. Go report the crime, speak about it, seek revenge. That's basically the area that you lack, that desire to want to punish the abuser. Instead, you're scared of them. And you do exactly what they want. You hide their evil. You're just letting them go on and harm others. And then you let that harm you. Instead of the evil they did, you sending it back to them, you making the whole world know what they did and they get destroyed. You're letting that demon dominate you even more. After it already destroyed you through abuse, you're letting that demon destroy you more by telling you to be silent and then teaching you horrible things to kill yourself. Drugs, alcohol, you being perverted yourself. Why? Why are you allowing an evil, filthy human being who did evil to you? Why are you giving them so much power over you that you continue to self-harm yourself? Why? They deserve to be punished. That shame and guilt belongs to them, not you. You're a victim. There are situations and ways that you were supposed to prevent that abuse. Yes, think about it. Because if you think about it, then you're going to prevent it next time. So it's not bad for you to be like, I should have done this, I should have done that. That's good. You should think like that, because that's now the quality that those people who could not be harmed have, that your brain is trying to give you, that you don't want to use. It's good for you to think like that, because then you're never going to let it happen to you again if you allow your brain to take you where it's taking you. Logic. God designed you to fight against evil. He did not tell you to sit there and lay there and let it harm you. So the point is, when these demons come to your mind, obviously in childhood or now, you don't know demons exist. You don't know these thoughts and voices and feelings and all these things are from demonic spirits. You don't think you got possessed when you became evil to yourself. I get it. But you do know right from wrong. You do know that you're supposed to go report that abuser. You do know that you're supposed to go tell people. You do know that you harming yourself over time as you age, repressing your natural rights, your natural feelings as a human being, sabotaging relationships that God brings you, people that you're supposed to be with, your friends, your spouse. You're pushing them all away. You want to hate yourself. Instead of hating the abuser, you want to hate yourself. You want to drug yourself. You want to numb yourself. You want to do more hard drugs just to numb. Why are you numbing it? It's there for a reason. You need to develop the quality. Okay. So you get the point already. I'm trying to basically understand and study the patterns that demonic spirits have put through these types of human beings. Because God wants me to help them one day. I mean, the basics of it I already understand. But I have to force myself sometimes to watch their documentaries. I obviously get traumatized that way, but I have to. I want you to understand, especially if you're male and you have been a victim to perversions that are predatory, where you have been raped or molested, or even just touched by those filthy predators, whether they were your family, usually they're going to be family, because that's the bloodline curse. That's what demons have created. In order to make it more disturbing, more traumatic, more destructive, they use the perverts in your family, because the goal is to make it not stop. The goal is to make it a cycle. You get me? To make it like a curse, something that just keeps repeating. They're going to use this perverted male. He's going to, grow up. He was abused probably as well, but he's going to grow up. They're going to turn him into a predator. And then they're going to put him into a relationship with a female. They're going to bring children into this. I mean, God gives you the child, but they're going to have children. Okay. And then he's going to go after his own son, his own daughter. Do you get me? Because a pervert is many types, and a pervert, the predatory one, the one that wants to harm others, has different levels. Okay? So there's like the highest level basically you can imagine will be that they're looking at their own children and they're thinking to themselves, they have to harm this child. It's like they have to. You get me? Because it's actually a demon. It's actually a demonic spirit. It's actually a demonic spirit. And what always angers me and disturbs me is how human beings say things like, how could they do that? What's wrong with them? What the hell is wrong with you? Why are you treating them like they're a human? And then all of a sudden the human did something inhumane. It's not a human. God created evil, therefore you should already understand when evil does happen, that then is just evil. Like, why are you surprised? You already know evil is out there. So why are you confused when you see an example? A pervert, for example, the male, is not a human being. Do you understand what I mean by it's not a human being? It's not a human being. Whatever you believe a human is, right? Those qualities of emotion, empathy, compassion, the ability to feel your feelings, shame, whatever you think a human is, that's not who you are when you're evil. Okay? You actually, when you're evil, enjoy harming others. Therefore, you're not a human. Do you get the point? Okay, so why are you expecting anything from them? That's you mocking human beings. You're acting like a good person and an evil person is mixed. It's like you saying, okay, they did this filthy thing like raping someone, but then they have these qualities of feeling shame and seeking forgiveness. What? If they have the ability to feel bad, why would they do something that's evil? They're doing something evil because they don't have the ability to feel bad. Get it? They lost that humanity. Therefore, they can do evil things that a human cannot do. It's like humans have this. What the hell is wrong with the human race? It's like you can't believe evil exists. Why can't you believe it? You know evil was created by God. Therefore, there are going to be human beings in this world who are no longer going to be like us. They're not human anymore. They're predators. They're filled with so much evil and hatred, darkness, and they're possessed by hundreds of demons. So it's actually the demons taking control when they're raping, molesting, killing. Do you understand? It's something else. Your job is to honor yourself. Your job is to go get legal punishment for them. Your job is to ask God to punish them in this life so they die quickly. Why are you waiting for them to just go to hell? No, ask God to kill them now. He'll do it. And then your job is to not turn into an evil human yourself. Your job is to be moral. Because I don't understand how you're going to walk around this earth acting like we should feel anything for you if you're going to go and be the same. Don't be evil of any kind, not just the predatory one, but other ways of being crazy. So, as I'm recording this, there's a possessed crazy male that a demon brought to my environment. He keeps making loud noises so they can disrupt my recording, but I'm going to keep recording. I already rebuked his demon and told him to leave. He's going to leave soon. They always come to my environment when I'm trying to record something in a public environment, because sometimes the idea comes to me if I'm in a public space. It's getting annoying. But I'm not going to stop recording it. So I'm kind of losing my train of thought. I apologize, because there's an evil demonic spirit possessing this, mentally ill male, harassing my environment with noise, trying to disrupt me from thinking straight and recording this for you. So, hold on. I'm gonna make this demon leave. You wait, okay? Just wait for me. Okay, I'm sorry. If maybe it seemed like I was going in a different direction, that's because this evil demonic spirit obviously brought a human to my environment that they're possessing, acting crazy in my environment just to disrupt what I was trying to really say. Okay, so again, I'm not trying to make you feel more bad. Um, when I remind you that you were supposed to fight, or you were supposed to do something, or that you're supposed to anything that I ever say, because one, that would be you mocking logic. That would be you mocking the fact that that's obviously good for you. It's just that when we remind you that there's different types of human beings, and not everyone can be a victim to evil that is preventable, that is to motivate you. That is so that you become those human beings. I told you there's like 5 different types of human beings. So you become like the ones that predators are scared of, that they cannot ever even think of them that way. So you become like them. Someone who would never allow any evil to happen to them. They would always fight. They would always choose death over being violated, whether it's being raped, molested, being enslaved, being, like anything that would objectify the body, the honor, the greatness that you have as a human being. That's what you should want us to tell you. Do you want us to tell you to just lay there and get harmed? Okay, so don't. Why would you feel offended? That's the demon in you, okay? That's not a sound, reasonable human in you that's getting mad at something healthy. Do you hear that noise? I hope you don't. They make a lot of noise around me when I'm recording, but I'm gonna keep going because I don't have time to record when I'm in quiet places all the time, because the inspiration sometimes just hits at the moment. It's almost nighttime now, so I'm just gonna do this before I go so that it can at least be uploaded maybe today. My message to you, especially if you're male, because females usually are known for just reporting the crime, but males, demons, make sure you don't ever say a word if you've been abused, usually by perversion like rape, molestation, and it usually happens through childhood. This male always acting like a nice um, father figure. Maybe he's like your dad's friend. Maybe acts like a big brother. They always call you buddy. Um, Literally, when I just listen to these, stories or testimonies of these males who are now adults talking about these abuses they've suffered, the pattern is so similar because these are demonic spirits. They're just using these filthy, perverted males who could harm others, okay? So it's the demon that's doing the behavior. It's the demon that puts curses on you, witchcraft on you, where they say things to you like, you like this, or you asked for this, or this is your fault, or you're so disgusting. You'll never be happy. You'll never get married. If you're male, they're going to say to you, a woman would never want to be with you. She's never going to be. Those are not insults. Those are curses. What that's going to do is it's actually going to make sure that happens. Okay? Anytime, right, for example, as a male, for example, God brings you a female that you could be with, you are going to self-sabotage that relationship. Or the demons are going to follow you who know how to do exactly that sabotage. You get me? It's a curse. The evil, dark entities are going to follow you around to make sure what that demon said through that filthy predator that was harming you actually happens to you. And usually these victims, they become financially unstable. Usually in their late 20s, they start, becoming unemployed. And then when they get into the 30s, they actually just start living with friends or people they know. It's a pattern. If you're like, oh my God, that's what's happening to me now. Exactly. That's why I'm telling you, I want you to know you're under control. You're literally like a puppet to these demons. They're making you go through the same cycle other males and other females went through But right now, I'm kind of focusing on the male that they went through so that they can destroy you just like them. They get into their 40s, lonely and having nothing. They ruin their whole life. You know, God sent them a great woman, but they didn't marry her. They literally have this sort of witchcraft done on them that makes them feel trapped. You know, and this one male, victim to abuse from perversion. Actually, his testimony, he said that he would have thoughts that said he didn't want to ever get married to this woman that he actually wanted to be with. They dated for like 5, 6 years. He said that he actually, cared about her, loved her enough. It was a great relationship. Okay, but when she wanted to get married and she brought the proposal, he said no. See, he can't be like, God, you didn't help me, you didn't send me a great woman, blah blah blah. These males self-sabotage themselves. Okay, again, I'm only talking about males for now. This obviously happens to both the males and the females who are this type of human being who've been harmed this way. Others who've been harmed by it, they actually go and don't go in this cycle. But the worst extreme level of bad life cycle comes from this example, this type of human, okay, which I'm focusing on, because they seem to sadly become the majority. They because you're possessed, your demon is in control of you. It's not even you most of the time. But they're able to get you to agree to whatever they want, okay? Which is the thoughts, the feelings, okay? You're not supposed to agree with that. They're gonna constantly get you into drugs because that's them now trying to make you feel rewarded, A lot of these humans say that the drugs help take away those horrible feelings of heaviness, depression, anxiety, all this shame and guilt, all these weird, horrible emotions they carry. They say that the drugs sort of calm them down. Okay, there you go. Drugs are bad. They can't make you feel better, okay? What's happening to you is the demon that was causing you those heaviness or emotions, that demon, since it was a conscious thing, right? It was intentionally and consciously causing you those types of feelings and thoughts to come to your body, your mind, right? Okay, so then they stop sending it to you when you do what they want, drugs. So it's like they're trying to reward you. Oh, look, the voice in your head will say, oh, look, all these horrible mental, stuff that you were carrying around stopped all of a sudden when you took this cocaine. Okay, then you must therefore always take cocaine. They want you to do bad to yourself by taking away the other bad they were doing to you that made you then go do this other bad, because they made you think the second type of bad, which is the drug, was somehow going to alleviate the first type of bad, which is the mental torture they were putting you through. You get me? I understand all this spiritual stuff is very stressful, but all I'm trying to say is I don't want you to be thinking, okay, what Hannah's saying, demons are harassing me, they're making it. I don't want you to downsize it like that, make it seem so simple. I want you to understand that this is not who you are, okay? This is not your identity. You are being controlled and attacked by demonic spirits. They're your enemy, okay? So because they're always living, right? They're always out there. They're always watching until God, ends this earth or this time, the human race. They're gonna obviously keep living. They're not gonna die like you and I die. You know what I mean? So they're always gonna be there. They're always gonna be there to bother the hell out of us. And for human beings like you, who've suffered this extreme evil happening to you, you're like their toy. They get to literally destroy you like an object because you're allowing it. You know what society has taught you. You know, no matter how limited in knowledge humans are, no matter how much they don't understand things, you know, as in your deep conscience, you just need help, correct? Maybe you don't understand the details of that help, but you know you need help, correct? You just need to ask for help. If the demons use a bad human to be around you that moment you ask for help, that doesn't mean you should give up asking for help. It just meant you went to the wrong one, right? Accidentally. Keep looking for good people then. Don't give up on asking for help, because this one was a manipulator and they, right, turned out to actually enjoy your suffering. They're just trying to get you to tell your story. Don't go around telling random people the abuse that happened to you. That's not normal. Okay? Just look for really decent human beings that could help you. If that's not possible, obviously, you can go to health professionals in a way that you're still maintaining your dignity. You know what I mean? You're not acting too trusting. You're not doing any of that. You're just treating them like a health professional. You're just telling them what happened and you're seeking help. But if you're here, you don't even need that because I got your back. The information I'm offering is going to be 10 times better. And that's just that you only need God Almighty. He created your body so he can fix the physiological, the physical, the mental, the emotional, the psychological problems. Do you agree? Because he created all those dynamics of our health. I feel like I don't know where I'm going with this right now. I'm sorry. There's so much noise around me because these evil spirits keep harassing me with noise when I'm trying to record. It was so peaceful for like 10 hours in this place that I was in this whole time. So I'm sorry. This is the consequence of demons following me around because I came to help people. So I just want you to understand, especially if you're male, and you've been abused by filthy, perverted bastards, which should be murdered. They are supposed to get the death penalty. You live in a world where they become the judge, the police officer, so that's why they don't get it. Don't let the thoughts in your head, which is the demonic spirit, actually make you believe, right? The actual natural part of the human race, or that God is so stupid and unjust to victims like you, that they just let them go to jail, which is like a nice shelter, or they just put them in there for a while and release. No, 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 no. Right? The actual normal human beings want to kill them. You've seen it with your own eyes. If you ever see any healthy human beings going to court, those parents, those healthy, relatives, friends, right? Those actual moral people, they can't contain themselves. They want to kill that rapist, that murderer, that, right? They want to kill that predator. So it's their nature to kill predators. Um, just like you would kill a bear for trying to, kill someone, you would shoot it. Okay, so it's just that when it's within the human race, when it's a human that's the predator, obviously this is about morality, this is about religion, this is about spirituality, it's about God. So the devil obviously has to twist this part and make it seem like the human predator should not be killed, but the animal predator should be killed. He's going to twist it because it's about twisting morality. You get me? It's not really about the predator. It's really about the morality he's trying to twist so that then you can't believe that God actually would want them to be killed. So that then you start to say, okay, then I'm not going to go to God. He's crazy and wicked as hell. He just wants you to lose your connection to him. You get me? It has a long, narrow route or path. He's just using all these ways that he brings evil and injustice into our world to achieve the first initial goal that he really has, which is to disconnect human beings from their creator. But you and I are just going to kind of see the surface level of things, the physical things, right? Just the horrible things, the injustice every day. We're not going to really see the bigger agenda these demons have who are possessing these wicked humans in our societies. Right now, there's a cop randomly stopping someone in this, park that I'm in. You get me? It's like this is what I go through when I record about religion or God, and I'm trying to help people. These demons, in order to try to intimidate me, distract me, bother me, cops all of a sudden have to come to my environment. Peaceful, nice place, but then all of a sudden when I'm doing something spiritual like this, recording the truth, cops come to the place. The human beings who are possessed to harass me all day, some of them are driving. It's the demon in them, okay? They start committing crime, the police stops them. It's just so perfect when it happens that if you're with me for a day, you'd know I'm being followed by demonic spirits. So anyways, they're just trying to distract me. You get me? I have to keep looking away. Otherwise, I'm going to lose my energy because they're using witchcraft. And it's this very depressive, very dark energy if I look at the vehicle, like the police vehicle. It's not like you if you see a cop car right now. I don't see what you see. I see dark energy. Weird balayo in my language. The word balayo. It's a Somali word that means, I actually don't even know what the translation would be. What would it be? It's like evil, or bad. So anyways, God have mercy. I'm, as you can see, losing my train of thought because of all this noise and harassment. Understand that my desire for you, especially the male who has ever been a victim to evil, perverted bastards doing any evil to you, or abuse of other kinds, like beaten all the time, like violence. Your drunk, alcoholic, crazy, lunatic father always came home, tried to act all God and stuff and told you what to do. And right now that you're mature and now you have muscles and you're strong, you're thinking to yourself, how could I not stand up for myself? How could I, you know what I mean? Because now you're strong, now you're an adult overall. And now you're obviously going to have those logical thoughts that how could I do that to myself? Why didn't I say something? Why didn't I do something? Why did I? That's it. Don't let those types of healthy thoughts actually turn you destructive. Use them to guide you to what they're actually trying to teach you. That you need to always stand up for yourself. You need to have boundaries. You need to say no to evil. Don't be afraid of death or violence. Be afraid of being objectified, which is rape, molestation. You agreeing to that. I don't mean be afraid of that. I mean be afraid of you becoming someone who actually agrees to that. Be afraid of that type of person, you becoming like that. And therefore, since you don't want to ever become like that, you're not going to become like that. Okay? You're always going to be a fighter. You're always going to be a protector for yourself and for others. You're always going to do the right thing. God would never tell you to allow a human being to rape you. He would never tell you to preserve your life and get raped. Never. That's not a God, okay? God will tell you to fight and die. Just like he tells righteous people, right? To go and fight enemies, right? Let's say at a given point, there's actual good, moral, righteous people, okay? Just an example. And they're actually innocent, good, healthy people, right? They're just minding their business. And these evil human beings who are rapists, murderers, who hate God, right? They're obviously possessed by demons, that means. They want to come to their land, these good people's land, and invade them and harm their people, okay? What would you say a God would tell them to do based on what you think religion taught? Exactly, to be martyrs, right? To go fight and kill those predators. And if they die in the process, they become martyrs, right? They become these wonderful soldiers who died for their honor, like that. So you need to think of individual situations the exact same way. You need to think of individual, right? One by one situations where one human is trying to harm another. You need to think of those situations the same way as a soldier of God trying to protect his land, his home, etc. from real evil human beings who are actual predators, the way the religious way would have taught you to fight. The way even without religion, you just naturally see the human race teach you, right? Soldiers obviously go risk their life, right? I'm talking about in situations where they're in that moment innocent and doing the right thing. I don't mean human soldiers, because majority of the human race who goes into those jobs are obviously evil. Even within their camps, their army locations, they're raping, killing each other. You get me? They're obviously horrible human beings who do these jobs. I'm talking about normal, healthy people who at a given point in their life were an actual soldier, okay? Obviously, to you, they'd be stupid as hell if they didn't fight. You be thinking, why are you not fighting? Why are you not, doing what you're supposed to do? You're a human being. You get me? It's not to hurt a victim, who didn't fight. Is that we're just telling you what you're supposed to do so that becomes your initial natural state. That's not to mock those who chose to allow themselves to be afraid, and not fight. That's not to hurt them in a way that we would say is not fair. No. That's to discipline them. That's to judge them fairly. If you're expecting those humans over there to fight, why these ones, just because they're scared, is it wrong to tell them to fight? Why should we change our moral standpoint just for their sake? That doesn't make sense. If something is supposed to happen, we're supposed to tell everyone to do it, correct? Those who are scared to do it, we're supposed to inspire them. We're not supposed to tell them not to do it, because then that would mean we want harm for them. And if we're not evil ourselves, we can't do that. I'm not going to tell you not to fight when you're under attack, because that would mean whoever's talking to you doesn't mind you getting raped or molested. Okay. That, to me, is the biggest, most filthiest, most harmful thing God ever created. That makes me have a hard time worshiping him every now and then. Okay, so Of course I want you to fight because I care for you. It's that simple. Because I care about the honor that your body has, your humanity, because I hate evil so much, because I would love to rip apart and burn every rapist and molester. Of course I want you to do the same to them if you're under attack. You know? That's what strong, healthy, or righteous people would teach you. So I'm just trying to show you what they would tell you so that you emulate it. You become that way. Don't let the thoughts say to you, but you haven't been like that so far. Who cares what the thoughts tell you? It doesn't mean if you haven't been strong so far that you cannot be strong right now, if that's what the thoughts are trying to imply. Nor does it mean that you're not supposed to be strong now if you haven't been strong so far. Otherwise, you're saying evil is okay for you to allow it to happen to you now just because you allowed it to happen to you before. See how dumb you would sound? You're excusing it. You're justifying evil. Okay, so as long as you agree with me that evil is bad, evil, a human being who allows it to happen to himself is evil to themselves, then don't fight with me. Don't argue with me. You need to work on your inner courage. No matter how much those demonic spirits attack you with whatever is happening in your body, those emotions, those thoughts, okay, those hallucinations, those dreams, none of it is stronger than you. You are stronger than that. Only when you're like, okay, and you agree with it, then it dominates you. You become one of them. You become those thoughts, those emotions. It's that simple. There are people who don't have such thoughts and emotions. They're just brave. So you already know it's possible to be brave because there are human beings on this earth that God created who are brave. Do you agree? As long as something is out there, you know it's possible, correct? So you can become like it too. Be brave now. Choose to. Sit down with yourself. I'm really telling you this, okay? I mean it. This is an advice. Choose to go into a private place. If you don't have anywhere private, you live with others. Obviously, you can always whisper, but go rent a hotel room for by yourself, for example, and just do what I'm trying to tell you to do, which is talking out loud in detail about the abuse that was directed at you. It usually was your childhood anyway. And all the things that it led to. The kids usually, when they're molested or raped, they go into crime like shoplifting. They like to play with fire a lot. They usually go to jail for arson and theft or shoplifting. And it's crazy because the kid is not actually thinking they actually want to steal. You know what I mean? So it's not even that they developed a desire necessarily to steal in that sense. It's like the demons in them have a pattern where they always make these types of human beings who don't ever speak up, who don't want to speak up. They've agreed with the demonic spirit in their head, telling them to shut up. They've agreed with the abusive bastard who harmed them, whether female or male. They've agreed with whatever they told them to do, which is to be quiet. Okay, and then they start to self-harm, get it? Instead of attacking the predator, they attack themselves. So they attack their own morality. They start doing evil. Obviously, if you steal something, you're obviously a bad person now. I'm not saying you can actually steal unless you actually became a bad person. I'm saying it's not necessarily to actually take the item. They don't necessarily care for what they're taking. I mean, they're not interested, you know what I mean, in what they're stealing, right? Because some human beings, when they steal, they actually want the product, right? These kids obviously don't want this product. You get me? So that's what I mean. They obviously became evil. They want to steal. I just mean it's not because they actually want to steal this product and then they're going to go use it one day. No. It's just, evil has entered them. You get me? So all the other stuff that happened that destroyed your life, then you got into alcohol. Bad friends, kids your age who are also doing the same thing, who taught you the same thing, who are reckless, maybe driving when they're not even supposed to drive, smoking, all this stuff that they were doing when they're still kids, when they're still underage. Either way, it's sinful and bad. I'm just saying, it's underage. Doing bad in high school. You did really bad, even though you're a smart kid. And then you just get worse in your 20s. You usually met someone you like, but you sabotaged it. You sabotaged it. When the relationship was getting serious to becoming committed, you ran away. You pushed them away. They just left because they think you don't want them. Okay, that guilt now eats you alive. The devil tells you to go to clubs and bars and sell yourself to random people of the opposite gender. It's sad. Now you became perverted. You became nasty as hell. Um, then you become sexist. You start to hate the opposite gender. They'll push you to homosexuality and all that filth. That's, now a higher level of perversion, the unnatural one. And slowly they'll try to make you the abuser, okay? So I want you to understand why human beings who've been abused, usually the male, since they're the ones who would usually become the predators, because, they're male, they have, strength, you get the point. Why is it that they seem to always become very perverted and promiscuous if they've been raped or molested? It's because the demon wants you to become a predator as well. He wants you to one day rape or molest a child. If you were molested or raped as a child, you get me? He wants you to become exactly the abuser. No, 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 no. They're not trying to make you into just a typical bad human. Hell no. They want you to become the abuser. Okay, but they can't just, boom, make you into an abuser. It takes time. So they first take you through the other lower levels of perversion. If you've been listening to my healing guide, there's different types of perversions and there's different levels. They go higher and higher. Okay, so the first one is with the opposite gender. It's natural, it's normal, that's not related to you by family or blood or extended family, etc. Duh, just the normal opposite gender of you, the same age as you, same, 2-3 years apart, just healthy, balanced, Then they'll put thoughts into your head to go to one's way too old or way too young. The other type of perversion, so nasty. And then they'll push you to homosexuality, and then they'll put thoughts of family into your head, and then boom, children. They'll tell you to go rape or molest a child. They'll tell you what happened to you and be like, hey, it's not so bad. They'll tell you it's not so bad because you're not a bad person. That's what they'll tell you. As you look at a kid with those filthy thoughts, they'll tell you there's nothing wrong with you. They'll tell you you're just thinking of that kid in a positive way, like they're just pretty or something. It is so disturbing. What type of human you've become now? You've become a predator. But God always allows you, before you actually go and harm anyone, He always does something to try to intervene for these human beings. They just may not necessarily think it's from God. You get me? People talk to you. Someone is sent to help you. Someone warns you. Stuff happens where God is trying to save your soul. If you don't want to listen, then you actually become a predator. If it takes too long, you seem to sort of wrestle with it, what the thoughts are telling you to do, okay, then you'll do it when you're just like the predator when he did it that harmed you as a kid. Which is, they establish themselves in society, acting like a chameleon, right? The same way they tricked you, obviously. They acted like a nice father figure to you. They came to your home and asked you to come to their house by yourself. You're just a kid because you came from a filthy, abusive, nasty family that would even allow a child to go to a stranger's house by themselves. Like, what kind of parents, these human beings have? No one studies it. So, what kind of parents, right, or the type of parents these types of children come from is also very important to understand. People just think, duh, it's just bad parents. No! Goodness! Think about it. There's a cycle going on and no one's paying attention. It's the same exact type of parents. Okay? It's the exact same type of parents they're trying to turn you into. They're gonna just push you to just go get married. okay? Have children. And they're going to tell you to harm your own children. And they're going to tell you to harm other people's children. The exact same way the abuser harmed you. They lured you. Slowly over time, they groomed you. They got you to agree with their perversion. They touch you a little bit here. Then they tell you to take your pants off. Slowly over time, okay? This is something you could have stopped many times. That the abuser was slowly taking away your boundaries, your humanity. There's hundreds and billions of children who fight back and say no, and it's over. You didn't fight back. So if that guilt and shame that you didn't fight back is the problem, if that's the cause of you abusing drugs because you're so mad at yourself, that's a good thing. Use it to now become an assertive person. Don't make it seem like somehow, you know what I mean? Whatever human, it's too long. This recording is taking too long. I'm sorry. Don't use that in a negative way. Don't think that's from the devil or something. No, it's actually from your conscience. If you fail a test that you could have passed for 3 weeks, if you keep having thoughts that you should have studied this day, you should have done this, you should have took that paper with you that time that you were offered that study guide, all that what if, you would agree in this situation is very healthy. Okay, it's the same when you're a victim to harm. We just have a world where they don't want to admit that they chose a weak option. They didn't fight. They didn't say anything. When God created you to say something, He created you to express yourself. So if you don't want to admit that it's your fault in that sense, that you didn't fight, you didn't say something, you didn't do something, it doesn't mean the abuse was okay. Goodness. No one's saying that. That's what perverts say. We're saying you didn't do your part that you were supposed to do, to say or do something. And if you didn't say or do something and filth was done to you, well, then the days and the weeks following it, those natural emotions that God created in you, right? Fear, anger, rage, especially, right, common sense, the common logical emotion of fear that would happen to you again, obviously. If you obviously go back in the exact same cycle, you say, okay, to that weirdo asking you to go to his house again. Like, why should we babysit you and make it seem like that wasn't your choice to go back to their house again? When you could have said no, when you could have ran away. Why should we babysit you? That was something you could have done and you didn't do it. So we're not attacking you. We're just telling you what you did wrong so you don't actually think that was okay. You don't make yourself agree with nonsense. Just because you're a victim doesn't mean there are not situations where in that victimhood there are human beings that could have done something to prevent it. Do you get what I'm saying? The evil that was done is always gonna be the evil that was done. That predator, for example, of perversion like rape, molestation, they're always supposed to be killed. No one is defending them if we sort of hold you accountable and tell you what you could have done. I have to get this out of your head because that's what you think it means when people say to you, but why didn't you do this? There are humans who actually say that to hurt you, okay? I'm saying this to actually help you understand this was the solution. You get me? This was what you were supposed to do. So that just for the sake of argument, if that situation ever repeats, because demons know you, they are the ones who molested or harmed you, they're going to send you similar humans in the future. If you're an adult, obviously, or you're grown, right, it's not going to happen. They're going to try to, obviously, same thing. They're going to try to get you to agree with it in different ways. It's not always going to be like, what you think it is. They might just try to get you to become a homosexual, which is the same thing. It's just rape or molestation. But you're consenting to it, okay? You're doing it to yourself. You're calling it different names. Do you get what I'm saying? So that now when those situations repeat, will similar predators come to you? So you say no. So you get out of the situation. We're trying to help you prevent abuse. No matter who you are, no matter where you are in this world, if you're suffering from this nonsense, okay, these evil thoughts and emotions that are attacking you, understand you're under demonic attack. It's not your thoughts, your feelings. Your thoughts are only the ones that say, I should have done this, I should have done that, because that's guiding you on what was supposed to prevent that evil from happening. So that if it ever tries to repeat again, you now know what to do this time. Okay? That's God putting a conscience in you to protect you. If God didn't do that, then how would you know what you should have done? That's dumb, right? Come on. He needs to help you. If you failed to do the right thing the first time, if He just designed your brain to just become that way, come on, that would take away human common sense or conscience or whatever makes us great and not objects, right? We have a mind. So your mind, has to keep functioning in order to keep guiding you on what is logical and what is not. It needs to question, it needs to think. Use it to your advantage to actually do what's logical, what's healthy, what's moral, right? And don't self-harm. And don't, make all of us feel so ashamed and feel even more disturbed where now you go and become the predator. Because at first we're all feeling sorry for you. We want to take revenge on your behalf. We want to find that lunatic. Okay. Imagine if you then one day start looking at little kids like that. What the hell happened here? You should be the first one to not go down that path. You know how disturbing and evil and how painful that was. Why are you going there? That's your choice. That's what I'm saying. Your mind questions you because it doesn't want you to go down that path of becoming like that bastard. Goodness. You only need to attack the thoughts that say that evil was normal, or that evil was okay, or it's your fault, or you deserved it, or blah, blah, blah. You get me? The one that's trying to hurt you, basically, or making it seem normal or justified. Making it seem like no one will help you. Making it seem like no one cares. That's the voice of the demon. But the one that says, what could I have done, or what should I do next time, or who do I need to go get help from? That's from your conscience. Separate them, okay? So take a place that's private. Talk out loud about your abuse. Talk to yourself. I swear to God, this is self-healing. Talk to God. I don't obviously mean you talk to yourself. I want you to talk to God and tell Him what happened to you, as if He's like, right, listening to you that moment, because He is. You know? Literally, like you're telling Him a story. Like if you were in front of a camera and you're being asked to record your testimony on a part of a documentary, for people to understand the type of evil that you saw, right? You see it obviously all over YouTube. If you were like those types of human beings, I swear to God, it's going to heal you. It's going to make you feel better. Because the reason why you feel so suffocated, right, it's like this heaviness on your chest, is that's actually an emotion. If you suppress it, if you hold it in, it's not supposed to be in the body. It's supposed to be released. It's anger. It turns into, forgot what it turned into. What did it turn into? Yeah, it just turns into it basically just turns into the sort of dark heaviness that starts to hurt you. You get me? Emotion is like, it doesn't have a physical presence, right? You can't see it or touch it, but it has its own, goodness, I'm losing my words. But it has its own actual existence. Okay. Basically, it has like a body, basically. Anger is like it has a body. Think of it like that. So that sort of body, right? Let's say like a cloud, is going to sit on your chest. It will not leave you until you tell out loud. See, this is how you know this is something God designed for healing to happen. This is how you know it's from God and not my sort of advice as a creation of God, right? It's similar to what human beings over there are doing that you already know, right? anyone who's a victim to evil does. They tell others, right? Okay, so even when you tell it out loud to yourself or to God, the same emotion happens. You feel lighter, you feel better. You feel like this huge weight was taken off of your chest. You get me? You know what that feeling is? It's a feeling of not being alone. Because what evil does is it makes you feel isolated, which is why also predators need to isolate a victim before they harm them. You get me? Because they cannot feel safe enough to do it. Obviously, they're weak as hell. They're not some... What are they? What do you think an evil human is? You think they're God or something? Because I'm afraid you think that way to some degree, because that's what the evil demon does. It possesses many of you. It made all of you evil and do bad things to yourself, and you all became toxic in many ways of your morality. So you all start to sort of fall into their thoughts and actually think, right, whoever harmed you was big and scary or whatever. I'm sorry, okay? But that's not how your brain was designed to do to you. Your brain is not designed to attack you. That's the active, living, evil, filthy entity that's saying that to you. You either agree with it or you don't. Even if you don't agree with it, it'll still make it seem that way to you. I'm just saying you just don't agree with it. You get me? It can still attack you like that, show you that weird stuff in your head. Because it's they have the ability to show you the sort of image of a character, like this dark figure that's really tall, really wide. Anytime you see an evil human that's even just harassing you, even just mocking you, hey you know, like on the street, woo, this weird dark heaviness, this weird fear comes over you. You get me? Because that's witchcraft. Yeah, demons are weak as hell. Humans are obviously who are evil are weak as hell. Only righteous people are strong. But they're obviously not going to scare the hell out of you, because it's not that type of power that, you get me, they would have. Only a God would have that. You get me? They're just strong. Okay, so what the hell is that then? Right? It's witchcraft. Demons show images to your head. They show fear to your mind. That's why a third party, or when you watch it on a video, all of us are thinking, what the hell? That's just a mean human. But to the person that was being harassed, they felt cornered. They felt so much fear coming over them. They could have had a little bit of freezing. You get me? They're having all those symptoms because witchcraft, demonic spirits are facing them. They're seeing stuff we cannot see that moment. Right? We'll only see it if then we're getting harassed or some evil is trying to come bother us. You get me? It's just that we're all different in how we respond to it. Some are obviously not going to be scared. They're going to be like, what the hell did you say to me? And they're going to fight. You get me? So, but you get me? We can all still see that fear. You get me? That false fear. It's fake. It's false. They're using magic. That's why, for example, in Islam we say, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim," which means, I seek refuge in God Almighty against the accursed devils or accursed devil. You get me? You're seeking refuge in God against whatever the hell this is. This dark thing coming. What the hell is it? You know? Demons are weak, okay? But they can show you images. They can show you false energy that seems like fear. They can't create fear, right? Because obviously only God can. But magic is trying to mimic it. But there you go. They just use thoughts. They use thoughts. Oh my God, you're gonna die. It's like that. But you're not gonna hear the voice. You're not gonna hear the thoughts coming through the mind that said that. You're only gonna hear the sort of false fear that it's sent, that they used using witchcraft. You get me? It's not fair. It's never fair. It's never been fair. And I question God every day. I question. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? Don't think you're somehow sinning or crazy or whatever. Just don't cuss and curse him out. And if you do, just repent. But I'm just saying, it's not fair, okay? It's not fair. God allows the devil to go after toddlers, babies. I constantly see news about them being raped, molested, harmed, killed. I don't understand. You think I'm some guru about spirituality and God. None of us are gurus on God, okay? Don't ever make yourself feel like some human beings like me have it. You get me? Like somehow God reserved us and makes our life easier or whatever. Hell no. I go through hell that if you knew I went through, you'd question why I'm close to God. You'd be like, why? Why don't you leave him or something? You get me? So I just want you to know righteousness, which means moral character, has nothing to do with God. Okay? It's just that God is the way to become that way, right? To some degree. I have to say to some degree because some people actually want to make it seem like it's all about him. That's impossible. There are people who are righteous who don't know anything about God or religion because it's in their conscience. All of us are created by God Almighty with consciousness. That is that sort of mentality or sort of thing in you as a human that knows right from wrong. You get me? You see something, you just know it's wrong. Like that, okay? So obviously, right, it comes from God. I'm saying having a relationship with him is not required to be righteous. You get me? Because the righteousness I'm talking about is not sinless, right? Where you don't drink, you don't smoke. Let's separate, right, a righteous person into two. One that's moral, right, in the sense that their character is moral. They can never do evil to others or themselves. Okay, you may never know God or religion and be that way. Do you agree? Okay, because that's a choice. That's our free will. Okay, it comes from God. I don't want you to think that's within us. He gave us the free will. He gave us the consciousness to know right from wrong that would allow you to therefore choose the moral way, right, versus the immoral way. You get me? I'm just saying you don't need to know who he is. You get me? You don't need to know a religion that he created. You could be completely ignorant in that and be a good person because, okay, good is normal. Good is our nature. It's not necessarily an option because option would make it seem like evil is okay and it's also an option, right? No, good is normal. Good is natural. So good is always going to be your nature. Evil is unnatural, abnormal. The hypocrite religious preachers always like to act like if they didn't know who God was or his scripture, usually Christians say this, that then they wouldn't even know what's right or wrong. They're so evil. Then they're basically justifying doing rape or murder if only they didn't know the Bible. You see what I'm saying? How evil they are. I literally saw a pastor say that. It was insanity. No, you're human. You're created with a natural conscience that just knows right from wrong. Otherwise, you're saying good and evil look the same. They feel the same. They feel good to you. Exactly, right? You're saying evil feels good to you. And only God told you in some book over there, hey, don't do it. You're mocking him. Okay, that's disgusting. They make it seem like God is saying to them, like some weak creation, hey, don't do it. What the hell? No, you're human. You know right from wrong. You just don't have knowledge on big details on things, right? But in terms of when it comes to harm, right? Like things that you and I would say is harm, right? We all know that. We all know what's harm and what is right and what is wrong in that. That's disgusting. Don't accuse people of not knowing that. Goodness. Then you're saying anyone can just harm and rape anyone. You're sick as hell. Okay, don't attach that to religion or scripture. Goodness. Scripture really is about guiding us on who God is. See, the part that I told you humans may not know because we can't see him. But good, he put that in us. It's like a chip or something. It's in our soul. We just know. It's our conscience, okay? It's our gut. We just know. You're a child and you see parents fighting, right? Or one beating the other. No, stop it. Who told you to say that? Who told you to just get up and try to protect your mother as your father's trying to beat her up? There you go. Your conscience. You don't know God. That's what I'm saying. Stop, stop arguing with me. I hope you're not arguing with me. We're human beings. Don't accuse us of being stupid, okay? Or dumb or objects. We're a great species, okay, in that way, okay? We're designed very great, okay? It's just that there's an option to be filth and worse than the worst of all creation, just be worse than an object. There's an option, okay? And that option is evil. You want to go down that path? Okay, over there. Go over there. That's an option. So, I forgot what I was talking about. But it's too long, I apologize. But I just want you to know, God usually sends down prophets and messengers in past human history, scriptures, and then just righteous people after that to guide people, on areas that it gets corrupted. really to guide people on, right, sort of who God is, the areas that morality was corrupted, etc. But we as human beings, we know everything. We know right from wrong. Otherwise, you're accusing us of seeing evil and good the exact same way. You get me? As if evil is normal, as if evil is enjoyable. It's disgusting. Don't accuse us, and we're all different. I told you there's different types of human beings. Okay? So I don't want you to continue to be the worst type of the humans who have been victims to very harmful things like extreme violent behaviors or rape or molestation from perversion, which is they just self-harm. Until 40, 50 something, they just die from overdose to pills and drugs or suicide or just extreme heartbreak, just they start having heart disease and stuff, or diseases. Literally, you can just go on YouTube, watch testimonies of male abuse survivors. I hate the word, they write down always the word sexual, as if it's sexual. Male, just write down abuse survivors. Sick and tired of that word. We need to change the dictionary very soon. So, you get me? And just look at the pattern. They were all harmed, whether they're male or female. The predators came after them at the age of 5 or 4. Others, it would be 6 or 7, okay? There's a pattern in the age that they pick you as a kid. And then 10 or 12, 10 to 12, let's say that. And then for some, it's actually 14 to 15. You get me? It's like if I was to just make it more easier for you. 5, 7, 10, 12, 14. Then that's it. They leave you alone. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like demonic spirits. This is your evidence. They're picking on you. Way before you were even born. Okay? When you're born, they're assessing the type of human you are. Okay? It's so sad. They know which kids they can rape and molest. They know which kids they can go after. God have mercy. It's very disturbing. And again, the things that none of us can ever understand or comprehend, and none of us can ever get over, that our Creator allows to happen, such as He allows devils, which are grown, mature adults, right? Demons are adults. He allows them to rape and molest children and toddlers and babies who cannot. It's not fair. They're not an adult who can fight. I get it. And that's what I'm saying. I'm with you on this. We don't understand either why our Creator would allow this to happen. But if you stay stuck there, you're never going to get what you can get, at least, keyword, at least, to get through this life. Anytime those questions come to me, and I question God, and anger takes over me, and I become silent for days or weeks, and I have to stop myself from saying things that you would say is sinful, and oh my God, if you knew the amount of anger and rage I have, okay, you would understand I'm on your side. I don't want you to ever feel like, because I'm always telling you to go to God, that I don't, question Him the way you do. No, anyone with reason would question God, because He allows things to happen that, you get me, let me not finish that sentence. Let's leave that for a better day, because it's a short podcast. I'm recording things. If I say things, it can be taken out of context. You get me? It's very hard for me. On your behalf, whoever has been victims to this, I get mad on your behalf. Like I'm some sort of lawyer for you. I go to God and I defend you on your behalf. I tell God, why did you do this? Why can't you at least allow demons to come after your creation, the human race, when we're both adults? How is this fair? You think I don't question? I question 10 times heavier than you, because my brain is just logical. It doesn't have the emotional part. It never operates on emotion, since I'm not a regular person. Just understand. I've reached a point where, and I think God allows me to have such questions so that He can show me what the solution is, so that then I can offer it to people. We just have to, there's no solution except to just let it go. There's nothing we can do. I think this is what humans struggle with. They think that then they should just not worship Him. Well, What, you want to go to hell? Huh? We don't have a choice, okay? Yes, all these religious human beings like to preach all this nonsense. God is this, God is that, he's loving, let's what? They're crazy and they're liars, okay? Real people of God will truly understand your questions because they have it too. And they'd be like, you're right. You know what I did? They'd offer a solution. These bastards always telling you to just forget it. You're sinning right now. What the hell you mean you're sinning? God gave us this mind. He gave us this actual brain that wants to question him. How dare you mock him and us? We're doing exactly what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to question. Okay? And that's the point. There's nothing we can do. We've come to the conclusion there's nothing we can do. Do you agree? Do you agree we're a creation and he's just going to take us all out one day? No matter how we all die, we're all just going to die. Obviously, some die through, crime and stuff. But just the idea, we're all going to die. And as many believe, we're going to be resurrected like me. There's going to be the day of judgment or the hereafter. It's a whole process and then the whole day. It's not really a day. It's just called the day of judgment, but it's really long. Only God knows how long it is. And judgment. You get me? Everyone's going to get judged. Hell or paradise. And since he's fair, he's not going to obviously put a non-believer, right, in hell. Just boom. What? Since it's not their fault, right? Billions of the human race don't know him because it's not their fault. You get me? Why would he throw them in hell? Hell is really for predators, okay? Hell is really for criminals. God already knows people are going to sin doing little things that can be forgiven, okay? Hell is really for punishing you for harming others. You get me? Like a rapist. So others, their other sins, God finds ways to just alleviate them, okay? Just have faith. But you get me? Someone who really knows what they're doing is who God will really put in hell. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. You just have to realize that that's how fragile we are. We're just going to die. We're going to be resurrected. He's going to do what he wants. He's going to judge. You get me? It's like he's in control, not us. So once you realize that, you take that off yourself. That sort of guilt or shame the demons like to put over you, as if you're God or something, as if you could have prevented certain things. For example, I did not choose to be chosen by God to reveal that his religion is corrupted. I did not choose to be persecuted by demonic spirits ever since before I was even born, which means they knew you before your birth. They were already waiting for me, okay? Which is something only prophets and messengers went through. Only they were followed or persecuted by demonic spirits, which means they use humans they're possessing. Because you're thinking, how? Demonic spirits don't exist. Evil humans are demonic spirits, okay? They're right next to you. That's why I don't even want you to talk to evil human beings or bad or talk. Don't even interact with them. 99% of the time, you're talking to an actual evil entity. You get me? It's so gross. Just get through life being cordial, but don't, you get me? Other than the fact that you shouldn't mix with them because they're evil. I mean, don't talk to them as in like, don't actually think they're in control. You get me? Because you might actually want to ask them a question out of normal questions that you have. It's not even them most of the time. You get me? Sometimes you're wasting your time. Many people have gotten killed, because of some weird stranger that pops up one time and they're like, are you looking for this place? Yeah. Well, it's over there. What the hell? How do they know where you were looking for? Do you agree these things happened? So, for example, for me, there was a time that, I'll give an example. These demons, right? They're using these evil humans who are possessed to follow me around. They're just always everywhere. The majority of the people are just possessed anyway. You get me? They basically just start approaching me, okay? Excuse me, are you looking for this building? See, if it was you, you'd be thinking, what the hell? How do they know where you're going? I know they're demons. I know they know where I'm going because, right, demons are invisible. They can see what we're up to. All of us have one demon with us, okay, as Muslims believe or Islam teaches you. So that evil one is the one whispering to you, talking, harassing your mind, when you sleep, sending you dreams, etc., working with other demonic spirits to terrorize you and set you up for bad things. That's the one that's alerting the others. You get me? They're looking at your phone as you're on your map, Googling, where you're trying to go. So, you get me? I know they can know where I'm going because there's always a demon with us. You get me? It only possesses you when you become evil in heart. So what I'm saying is, oh goodness, what was I talking about? Hey, this is taking too long. It's not supposed to be 1 hour. So, I'm sorry. At the beginning of this episode, I was talking about a dark theme. Now it seems like I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I'm trying to make you feel better at the same time. I don't want to just talk and make you feel gloomy all the time. Anyways, so yeah, sometimes they approach me and they're like, "Are you going to this place?" Or they don't even say that sometimes. They're like, "That building you're looking for is over there." And they're actually telling me the truth. You get me? And sometimes they're lying. So I would actually try to see it because I want to know, right, which way to figure out when a demon is lying or not. And I would actually try to see. Again, it's not something where you would ever put yourself in danger. It's just normal public places. I would try to see the sort of, you get me, the pattern, because they behave the exact same way. So if I see a demon that acts a bit different, right, the body language of the human looks a certain way, their voice, their energy, sometimes I ask them more questions, right, based on the way they behave. If I do go to that place and they tell me the truth, then now I know, right, that type of way, that one might always be telling the truth. And then the other, like that, I'm just trying to see how to identify their psychology so that one day I can help. I don't really need it for myself. So I can help human beings one day identify when strangers or humans are lying to you. You get me? Beyond what humans already have learned. So God uses these demons to basically work for my benefit sometimes. You get me? He actually uses them. I don't want to use the word, but to help me sometimes. They are used to sometimes give me information, or a person just comes up to me. They're possessed, okay? They're evil as hell. And they, for example, when I was homeless, they would just give me money. The exact time that I needed money from God that day. Let's say I'm lost or I'm looking for directions. There are many times that God put me in dangerous situations where I got lost because of harassment. You get me? I get on a bus, they harass me with the bus driver, everything just chaotic. It's so demonic that I would get off maybe at the wrong place, my phone would die, things like that, okay? And it would be this extremely difficult, like forest-like place. You know, everything's just trees and this road, and all these cars are possessed. They're just so much fear being sent to my body. There's so much, bad energy, and they're just constant. They're driving recklessly. You get me? Anyone would think, oh no, God is putting her life in danger. This is bad. No, when I slow down and I observe, God is actually using them to protect me. So there are ways that sometimes these evil spirits are being used, right, against against their will, in the sense that the humans they're possessing are being used to help us. You get me? Think of it that way. Maybe not the demon, but the humans are being used to help us. But the demon is there, right? It was harassing you 5 minutes ago. The face is the same on the human body because the demon is still possessing them. You might think this time it's also from the demon, when it could be from God. You get me? There are times that, for example, demons would put money in front of me. Literally, exactly the path that I'm walking, when maybe I prayed to God to give me money. I'm talking about when I was homeless, okay? I like to use this example of when I was homeless because a lot of the times that God taught me stuff was when I was homeless. Because I'm always in the street, I would obviously pay more attention to what I saw. If I have a job, if I have a normal life, do you agree I'm distracted, I'm busy, I'm running from place to place, I go home, I stay home a lot more, right? Unless we have something important to do, a healthy person wouldn't go out so much. Okay, so there's not much for me to learn. You agree? Whew. So, yeah, when I go out and I have to be forced to be outside by God, right? Because He takes my jobs away. He won't let me get hired, It's God, okay, making it happen. So you don't have to really feel sorry for me in that sense. Because without God doing that, humans just naturally hire me. I'm not someone that struggles with employment. I'm not trying to be arrogant. I'm just saying, you know how sometimes maybe you need skills or something. No, it's really easy for me to get a job. It's just when God doesn't want it to happen, then it doesn't happen. Okay, but I've learned in those situations where evil humans are possessed by demons to be there. God is right, making their demons harass me. Okay, but then 5 minutes later, they could be used to help me. It's so confusing for me. I would get so pissed off, okay? But now that I've learned, right, the pattern, I can use that to help others one day. You get me? To identify when God is sending them someone to help them and when it's actually a demon. You get me? Because we all need to know that because they set you up, obviously. So, so yeah, I would get lost in really dangerous places, have no phone, everything. And I would see these dogs, right? Just barking, barking, barking. It's like they're warning me. It's like they're saying you're going the wrong way. I thought that was their demon harassing me because they don't want me to go in that direction because I was going the right way. You get me? So it's very hard. If I'm being harassed by human beings and animals, even pests, they just won't leave me alone. Okay, they come to my area only. In just extreme ways that are very obvious. It's like you walk by and everyone starts barking. It's like that, something very obvious. You wouldn't be like, prove it. I can prove it easily. It's just like the moment I enter that building, that street, that area, they all just get alert. You get me? It's like a sleeping dog and then he just wakes up. You know, like that. Visualize that. That's how these humans and animals both look. They just boom. They just perk up, okay? They boom, just focus on me. They start talking, they start laughing. It's just weird, irrational behavior comes out of them because they're trying to distract me, confuse me. And since it's witchcraft and not just the behavior, right? Something that can affect you really in a sort of physiological way, it's just going to be annoying. Since there's witchcraft, there's all this heaviness in my body, right? Like my stomach, my heart. You get me? So God is teaching me what witchcraft looks like. Which you'd be like, what's the point? The point is for people every day who complain about sometimes going blank, right? Their mind, or situations where they tell you they have extreme heart, beating going fast because of anxiety or panic attack. Now I know how demons can do that to their body, how they can cause people to have these horrible symptoms in their body, but there's nothing wrong with you. You get me? It's witchcraft, okay? So anyways, what was I even talking about? Goodness, I hate when I go into different sections. I do that because, when you talk about one subject, it touches other things too. So I like to go in different directions to give you more wisdom so that you don't get stuck with one information. By going in different directions, you can have a more broader wisdom. Okay, so, God, what was I talking about? Okay, this recording is going on so long. I'm so sorry. I think I'll just end it here. I forgot what I was talking about. And it's getting really late right now. It's dark, so I'm just going to go inside. But yeah, situations like that where it was dangerous, it was dark outside, God would, expose me to situations where I have to use a higher level of discernment to figure out which humans are there to help me and which ones are being used by the demon. Like as cars were driving by, I had to ask one of them to give me a ride back to the city. And then you can't figure it out because the demon makes all of them look the same. It required so much discernment, so much spiritual knowledge. It was hard as hell. You get me? So they're going to help me. They're going to be used to help me because this is not something they're doing at their free will to just abuse me. God is making them do it. So you get me? I'm not someone they can attack or anything. It's like God told demons to go and do certain bad things around me to teach me something. It's like that. I don't know how to explain. You get me? It's like you're under some sort of academy or some sort of program. Things happen in that sort of way where God is... again, God is in charge of everything. I just mean, when evil is happening, you get me? He just allows it to happen. He just created that sort of free will where he doesn't intervene. But is he the one doing it? No, right? Okay, but I'm saying this, he's actually doing it. You get me? Whatever's happening to me. So for that reason, demons will always operate in two ways. The humans they're possessing will help me sometimes, but at the same time, they're being used to do harassment around me all the time. You get me? So it's very hard for me to switch back and forth. Many times God forces me to lose my own way of helping myself and makes them help me so that he uses that to actually help them basically pay for their sin that way. You get me? Like it's like he's helping them to pay for their sin by making them help me. And I started to notice that pattern. I thought it was just God helping me, using them. No, he'd use good people to help me who are not like that. Because, yeah, they're possessed, but they're good people. You get me? They don't harass me just because they're possessed. The humans who are really harassing me, who I keep telling you are possessed, are actually bad people. You get me? It's just there's so many of them in this world you start to question reality. You get me? Like, what the hell? Why are they everywhere? Anyways, yeah. So, yeah, it's just a lot of stuff. Basically, I really just recorded this episode because if you're a survivor, as they say, I don't really know how they came up with that word, but if you're a human being, especially male, who's been abused, especially through the highest evil God ever created, the highest, okay? It's the worst he made, which is rape or molestation, perversion. Understand, it's a very sensitive situation. You're literally under a bloodline curse. Demons want to repeat what happened to you in a cycle. They want you to either continue to be the abuser and do the same, right? And the cycle continues that way. Or you don't become an abuser, but your children get abused by some other predator. And they then have to now, either they become abusers. You get me? It's like, it's not just, it doesn't end with you. Okay, this is very dangerous, therefore, or a very sensitive case. I want you to take it seriously. Don't just think something evil happened to you. No, you're a very sensitive case, okay? You affect the human race in more ways than you can imagine. You either become a predator and harm more children, or you can go and speak and be a moral good person. One, you can, right, say no and be a good human. And then two, go and speak, right? Expose the predators so that you save those children that they're obviously going to continue to go after until their death. So at least use this maybe to even force yourself to speak up, because a lot of these, human beings said that what actually helped them to finally expose the predator, right? Even if it was 20, 30, 40 years later, was they realized, wait a minute, they're going to harm others. You get me? And it's always going to be the same age group they harmed you, okay? You're going to see a 12-year-old boy with them as well, okay, if you see them today. You get me? They're going to target the same age group because it's demonic spirits who are doing it. They have a cycle, okay? So understand, you're saving lives. Humans like you, usually, those who don't become evil, will love to protect others. You're very empathetic. Use that empathy. Save others. Create maybe an organization that spreads awareness. Do something for the community. Don't be scared to use your story to help others. I'm not telling you to expose it. That's, right, something you get to decide. I'm just saying, right, you need to talk to God, because you're not comfortable talking to a human right now, right, and telling someone what happened. You need to just speak to a being, right, a being other than yourself, whether it's God, right, or or a creation. Okay, go to God first, because it's easy. If you're like, I hate him, I can't stand him, okay, talk out loud to yourself. See, you're a human too, right? It's not just me who can listen to you. You can listen to yourself. If you're like, that's too traumatic, I don't care, do it. Because you don't obviously want to talk to a human like me, so you obviously got to talk to yourself or something. Talk to someone, okay? So I just want you to speak out loud, because it's the same as speaking to a third party. You're still releasing those dark emotions out of you, which a lot of them are witchcraft. You're going to feel different. You're going to feel lighter. It's like I told you, a cloud on your chest is coming out of you. Yay. Okay, now the heaviness is off the chest. The thoughts leave. Do it every day, every week. Just talk, okay? Just talk like you're recording yourself, okay? Like testimony. I swear it's going to help you. It's also going to help you with your morality. The more you say out loud what the abuser did, you're going to see how evil it was. The thoughts that try to make you now sort of agree to do that to others, you're going to be so disgusted. You're not going to agree, okay? It's going to help you with your morality as well, because I'm trying to save your soul. A lot of you go down to becoming predators and abusers. Now I have to curse you, that God takes you out, because I obviously ask God, and I always curse every rapist, murderer, molester, and anyone who did any of those sort of similar higher level transgressions. I always curse them with death, just so you know. You get me? I don't know how to explain. I only, right, pray that some of them repent if they want, right? Some of them will repent, but I only pray that they repent before their death, but I always curse them or basically say that they should die. You get me? Because I need them to die. The hell are you saying? I want them to live? So Do you want to be among that list? The most filthiest of the creation? Or do you want to save your soul? And if you almost went down that path, I told you, do whatever that brain of yours is trying to do. It's trying to question the hell out of you and make you feel so shame and so guilty. Allow it. Because that's the morality that some people have on this earth. They could never go there. You almost went there. Therefore, you are evil as hell. So allow your brain to make you feel bad. The hell's wrong with you? It was created to make you feel bad. So make it make you feel bad. Otherwise, you're saying it's wrong to feel bad for wanting to become a predator. What the hell are you saying? That you're somehow a nice person now? Because, come on. Just as you agree with us, predators are evil. If you almost became that way, then don't defend yourself. Agree with us that you're the same. Okay, but then don't use that to then just say you'll just become one. What the hell is wrong with you? Do you see what I'm saying? Use that to come back, okay? Come back to humanity, goodness. Before you no longer are human and a predator and you're not a human anymore and we have to let you go. We'd love to save your soul. We love that your soul is saved. You get me? It doesn't mean we treat you like people who've never thought of becoming a predator. Hell no, I don't put you on the same list as healthy, wonderful, loving people I love in this world that I've never met, right? Good, healthy humans all over the world. I'm not going to put you on the same list as them. If you ever thought of harming a human, becoming a predator, you piece of whatever, you think I'm weak or something to... Hell no. You don't know. You don't know. Goodness. You don't ever want to meet me, okay? If you've ever wanted to harm others. But if God saved you and you became nice, moral, all I'm doing is what God tells me to do, okay? I obey him, okay? I only tell you what the solutions are, which is what I'm telling you to do every day. Repentance, save yourself, save your soul. Choose morality, choose self-honor. Don't become evil. That's all. I'm just telling you what God tells us to tell you. I could care less. I'd want you to disappear and go to hell right now. You get me? I want you dead. I want God to take you out. That's not necessarily how God thinks. You get me? He likes to save souls. Okay, take that chance. And be grateful to people like us who, despite our hate for you, we choose, right, to go against that sort of hate we have for you. And instead, we show you that compassion and we're telling you, or that justness, I wouldn't really call it compassion. We show you that justness, right, that God wants us to do, and we call you to good. You know, even though we would be like, God, take them out. Don't make it hard on us. And don't ask for more of that, because you don't deserve it. Understand you're a human, not an object. Don't choose to descend to being something that's not even, something that's worse than an object, which is a predator. You have to talk about the abuse. You have to talk about it. Be ready. If God has guided you to find someone that really cares about you, that's a healthy, good, right, human, that's not evil. If you found that person, even if they're not physically with you, figure out the path to finding them and then talking about it. Even if it's just you visit them, you tell them, and they help you, and you go back to your life. It's okay. If you have to travel to, I don't care. Do what you got to do to find that person God is guiding you to. You know, I told you guys to always pray to God to find people who help you. Go and tell them. Because it's not something that will heal with yourself. You get me? It's not like your hand bleeding where you can put a bandage on yourself. It's one of those things like surgery. Someone has to help you heal. There are certain things God created the human race to help each other with. And there are certain things we can do ourselves, you know? So since this is more about love, right? Someone listening to you is a loving act. It includes others, therefore. You can do it for yourself. You can heal yourself. Obviously, you can do it yourself. You don't need others, right? I'm just saying the higher level of healing is really possible with a loving friend, you know, a loving human being, whether they're a friend, a stranger, who, right, is like a health professional, for example, or maybe just someone you met, but, right, you know it's safe. You know they're a safe stranger. Or someone you know. But do not live with those abusers. Don't go back to them if they're family or whatever. Make sure you cut them off, disown them, move far away. For example, if you're in the United States, you need to go to far away states. And I recommend you, when you find the right financial stability, to exactly leave the country, okay? And I want you to obviously prepare yourself to take legal action, report their crimes. You have to go to law enforcement and get a good lawyer, make sure they don't come after you because they try to attack you. Demonic spirits obviously can send you a really wicked judge and all that. Just don't be scared of anything, but right? Just be smart. You already know there's wicked human beings in the court system. You get me? You have to expose them, right? Find as much evidence, but you have to be brave. You have to bring those evil, filthy bastards, predators, whatever their gender is. You have to bring them to punishment, even though it's tiny as hell. I saw stories where this male who was harmed by rape as a child, they gave the rapist 4 years when the child's now an adult. He went to court to expose that predator, when he's like in his 30s, which is sad. Males usually reach 30, 40 when they start speaking about this, because the devil won't let you talk about it when you're younger, because he doesn't want you to enjoy those 20s. You get me? Because you're going to start to heal. Obviously, you're going to be a loving man. You're going to get married to a wonderful female. You get me? They don't want that for you. They want you to be perverted. Go to 30, 100 females in clubs and bars and sell your body. They want to make you think that's manly or whatever, cool or whatever. And they obviously tell you things like, oh, this is going to heal your trauma. You're going to be a man this way. What? Why do you need to be with more than one female sexually in your lifetime to be more of a man? What the hell? You're already a man. Two, if you're talking about that quality of sexuality, you just need to be sexual, correct? Okay, so if you can be sexual with one, why do you need more than one? Because that's the only way to get you to do the act. If it's sinful and if it's perverted and bad to go to multiple human beings sexually in hypersexuality or being promiscuous, right? It's self-harm. How can an evil entity convince you to do it? Tell me. If you need someone to take 10 cars, right, from a parking lot instead of one, what do you need to tell them? That taking 10 is better than one, right? Okay, so that's what they tell you. That going to so many people of the opposite gender who are not related to you, so many of them, promiscuously and never settling with someone and loving someone, obviously they're going to tell you that's keyword better. Because that's what they want you to do, get it? Because that's the sin. So since they want you to do that because that's perversion, they want you to be evil and disgusting, like some animal or whatever, then they have to tell you the behavior that's bad for you is better. It's going to make you more of something than the behavior that you're supposed to do. You get me? It's not really that hard to understand why they're saying this to your mind. But you're human. I told you have that conscience. You're not going to obviously sit with me as an adult and actually act like you actually believe that. Or hell no. You're a human being. You don't believe that. You felt disgusted every time you let some random female touch you, or you let some random male touch you as a female. Like, no. You're human. You have a heart. You were created to love someone. And no, you're not an animal. You're not an object. You're not supposed to let many people touch your body like some object. No, okay? Your body's honorable. You're supposed to use exactly what's broken, which is your heart. You're supposed to heal that heart. 100% is not possible because evil happened, duh. But heal, you get me? Heal never means erase, right? We're not using the word erase. We're using the word heal. It just means the ability to continue to live in a stable way after something traumatic happened. That's all it means. It doesn't mean you erased it. It doesn't mean you don't feel anything. But at least you healed it. And you being strong, you being brave, you talking about it, right? You bringing the abusers to shame. You humiliating them. You get me? Whatever they're trying to do to you, make you cower, make you isolate yourself, make you not live your life, give up your education, your career, because that's what happens all throughout your childhood, right? You just gave up on education, you gave up on jobs, bad job to bad job, you flopped in school. You get me? They were trying to ruin your life. They just didn't know how, so they thought of harming you like this, whether it's violence or rape or molestation or whatever they did. You get me? So since they don't want one thing from you, they want your whole life to be destroyed, they obviously try to do, right, if it's possible, if you're someone that this could happen to, this is why they chose this type of harm for you, okay? Because they wanted your whole life to be destroyed. So I don't want you to think that your whole life was destroyed simply because, right, the behavior they did was just so evil. No, they wanted that to happen, and that's why they picked this crime. You get me? They already intended that for you. I don't want you to think they only intended to harm you. What the hell? Obviously, they know what it would cause. They obviously picked it. They could have stole from you, right? They could have beat you in the head and left. Why did they pick what they pick? Because they have a goal. You get me? They're jealous or envious of you. They have an agenda for you, okay? They want to cause bloodline curses in your family. They want you to become the same as the filthy, evil thing that attacked you, okay? So I want you to go back to when you were a child, how you saw that type of human. You get me? That, oh goodness, not human. How you saw that type of, that thing. You get me? That predator. How did you see them? Right? Just that disgusting they are. Just how much hatred you have towards them. Slowly, the demons try to take that away from you and try to actually replace that with you liking them and agreeing with them. It's so nasty. Don't lose those initial feelings of hatred, okay? Because there's two types of hatred. There's an evil one and a good one. The good one that God has, people have, human beings who are righteous or moral. Duh. The type of hatred we have of, right, hatred towards evil and hatred towards those who act on it, evildoers. Okay? You're not supposed to forgive them. You're not supposed to love them. That's what one of the corruptions in the Bible has. It forces victims to forgive. You don't have to forgive nobody. Okay? And you should not forgive those human beings like rapists and molesters. You're weak as hell if you forgive them. Forgiveness is for little things, like you and I arguing over something dumb. Okay? We just don't want to be friends anymore. We can forgive each other the next week. Okay? But predators? There's no such thing. This concept of forgiveness gets out. Okay? Forgiveness means exactly what it means. Okay? It makes us all uncomfortable when we hear it for that reason. Because it means exactly what it means. It means you're forgiving it. And no, we're not forgiving it. Okay? So, it's your free will who you forgive. Do you understand? If you knew Islam was the correct religion, it doesn't force you to forgive anybody. Okay? But it's corrupted to include so much perversion and sexism and other weird nonsense. But it's going to be taken out very soon. That's why 2024 is going to be the year. A lot of lies will be exposed. As you can see in the entertainment industry, there's a lot of predators being exposed, right? All these human beings coming out telling you that they've been victims to rape or molestation. See, I told you. The biggest evil in the world is perversion. I told you, especially the predatory one that's harming others, okay? And these human beings don't come forth and share what happened until way later. That one person who chooses to be brave, which is sad that it's always female and the males don't always do the same thing. But that one person is all it takes. Then the other victims come out too. You get me? So you're saving a lot of people, and you're going to get the same support these humans are getting today, who are all over the news, who are being supported now, who are also sharing the abuse they suffered. You're going to get the same love, okay? Anticipate love. Don't anticipate rejection or fingers being pointed at you, okay? Only evil humans do that. I don't know what the hell you're thinking. Good people are good people. They're loving. Why would they blame you? So when the devil says, but people are going to be like, you know that voice? Simply say to it, wait a minute, isn't that voice talking about evil humans? But I'm not trying to be around evil human beings, right? I'm not trying to be friends with them. I'm looking for good people. So I don't care. You get me? Fight with it. Fight with the voice. It's like a person talking to you who's evil, right? Argue with the evil thing. Debate with it. Shut it up. I always say shut up when I get an evil thought. I swear to God. Say shut up to it, okay? When I was locked in jail one time, because, right, God made demons follow me, and he made these strangers assault me when I was praying. They just touched me in the back. So no, I don't mean assault. I don't mean like hitting you or anything. Basically, it was just perverted. You know what I mean? They're just touching you in the back when I was in prayer or salah. And that's actually how I went to jail, right? They tried to touch me again, and I used self-defense, right? The legal way the U.S. does it, right? When it's an oncoming attack and not, right, after one has already stopped, right? Um, you get me? It obviously required a lot of restraint because I beat the hell out of you that moment, but you get me? I did what their law says, right? And of course, God wanted me to go to jail because he wanted me to see the evil in jail and mental hospital. So he accused me of it. He made demons accuse me of it, okay? Which is evil human beings, okay, who were possessed. So I really wrote about this in my blog, a little bit of it. But I'll share this stuff, later on in this year as I share my testimony. Okay, so anyways, I saw this movie where I think it was Denzel Washington, right? God made me see a lot of movies in that jail. It was intentional. I don't mean like God wants me to watch movies. No, some of them just have story. You get me? Just the benefit of the story, okay? I don't mean something bad. So, right? Some of them obviously come out on their own anyway. You can choose to, right, obviously see some information that maybe could be used as wisdom. That's your choice. But some of them I feel like, I saw it because I was being taught something. You get me? So he was wrongly, it was like those times when when after slavery, right, so much discrimination or discrimination was extremely high, right, or segregation was extremely high. I don't know, just, what I mean, I don't know how to explain this. It's when basically Africans were suffering so much in this country, even though they still are. Just a little bit worse back then, because now it's more of a covert way they profile the person. Back then it was more confident. They could just do whatever they want. And he was accused of, a crime just randomly, just because he was at that place the same time that someone was killed. And he didn't even know that it was a male who was always targeting him. He went to jail so many times for different crimes he was accused of. Never did he ever sit down and say, why is this happening to me? This is what I'm saying. As a human, you need to study the patterns in your life. Why are you always going to drugs? Why you stop harming this way? Why do you have depression? Ever since you were like 18, all of a sudden, how come your life was kind of okay, but then all of a sudden at this age till now, you have all these emotions or they're attacking you. Okay, and then because of that, you're using drugs, alcohol to sort of numb it. Why don't you question yourself? What the hell's wrong with you? Because then you're going to be like, oh, wait a minute. It's because trauma resurfaced from my childhood, and now you're going to go after the trauma as your problem. I'm sorry, all this noise is coming over me, so I had to raise my voice. You get me? You need to understand what your problem is. Don't just think you're addicted to something. Goodness, I know a lot of people know what their problem is, but I feel like sometimes they don't. You get me? They just get nightmares about abuse and they start using drugs to numb it. It's like they don't realize. It's like you're bleeding and you're trying to ignore the bleeding by eating or watching something funny or drinking. You get me? It's like you're trying to distract yourself from the bleeding in your hand. That nightmare is there. Those flashbacks are there because they're saying to you, heal us. Do something about us. They're telling you to fix them, okay? Treat us, okay? So you need to treat it. You need to go report the crime. You need to heal. You need to tell someone. You need to go to God, etc., okay? Okay, so you need to, right, expose the abusers. When you get them punished, that's it. You're going to feel better that day. You'll never feel better until they're punished. Healing doesn't just mean talking, obviously. That's just to get you to start the healing. But I promise you, this is not going to end until they get punished because that's how God designed us. So it's not an opinion, it's a fact. You and I are created. Unless we punish whoever did evil to us, we're not created to feel better. Okay? So revenge, right, is our nature. It's just that the devil made it criminal to go and kill whoever abused you, obviously, in ways that death would be required for them to be punished with. He just made third parties do that now, like courts, right? So obviously don't take things into your own hands. I'm just saying, right, you can obviously ask God to punish them the way you want. He'll do it. You get me? It's so easy. You don't have to put things into your own hands. God can do it for you. So what I'm saying is, you get me? Until you actually do some legal punishment to abusers, you're never gonna feel better. Do you get what I'm saying? Not because if you could, then you should not punish them. No, God made it that way because he's telling you that's what you're supposed to do. You get me? He wants you to actually know that's how he designed right versus wrong to be. That whoever does wrong is supposed to be punished, not forgiven. You get me? Forgiveness and all that nonsense, that's something humans choose in their own mind what they want to do. That's their choice. That does not mean you don't punish. You get me? That's accountability. That still has to happen. Okay, so obviously, since our nature, religion is going against our nature, right? Like Christianity, when it says to forgive, is going against your nature, right? Your natural feelings. That's difficult for you to do, right? There you go. That's your evidence that's not from God, that it's corrupted because it's going against your nature. And who created the nature? Who created that natural way you feel inside? God. Okay, and God is not going to tell you to go against something he made you to, right, physiologically to be. Come on. Okay, that's your evidence, okay? Okay, so that movie, right? Denzel was saying shut up to the voice that started to say evil thoughts to him. And that's what I want you to start doing. Oh my goodness. I want you to start saying shut up. Every time you get an evil thought, shut the hell up. Just shut up. Because don't do it too loud when you're around people. They might think you're talking to yourself. It's a demonic spirit. It's like a living thing. You know what I mean? It's actually living. It's like a body next to you, leaning really close to your ears, saying nasty things. You get me? Shut the hell up. Just say that. Every time I say that, I start to just laugh without, you get me? Uncontrollably. So now what did I do? I healed myself too, right? Of the darkness it projected to me. I stood up for myself. I said, shut up. You can't keep attacking me over and over again. But because it's so funny, right, the way I say it, now I'm laughing. Okay, now I feel better, which is the opposite emotion or mood that the thought was trying to put me through, right? Or that voice. Do things like this for yourself too, okay? So I want you to practice talking about whatever abuse you suffered as a child, okay? Until you're ready to share it with somebody. This is the best way for now, because it might be taking a long time for that somebody to come into your life. But yeah. Okay, take care of yourself.